Welcome to the first episode of the Shrexorcist Podcast, a podcast dedicated to seeking out individuals who have not seen the 2001 film Shrek, and basically just kind of analyzing what that says about their character and what they may have been doing at that time instead. We seek to draw that information out of them, as an exorcist does a demon, but in our case with Shrek. And we seek to do that by means of a process we like to call breaking the Shrek hold, which simply put is asking an unsuspecting stranger if they have seen Shrek. Here's an example. Hey, can I ask you guys something really quick? Have you seen the movie Shrek?
Yes.
You have? Okay. We're doing a podcast. We're just trying to find someone who hasn't seen Shrek. It's called the Shrexorcist Podcast.
Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Okay. And
wow, that was great. Can you believe that person?
And what they said?
Yeah, wow.
Never seen Shrek before.
And that's the essence of what this podcast is about that we will expand on further. I thought we'd begin by just kind of introducing ourselves as hosts. I'll start with myself. My name is Joseph Siegel, fan of all things Farquaad. I recently completed my online degree at Duloc University. I majored in political science with an emphasis on monarchy, and I minored in swamp horticulture. So I'll go ahead and pass it over to my co-host, Cameron.
Hello, my name is Cameron Murphy. I am
Say your...
I'm sorry. Cameron Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy,
I have the
popular
same
voice
last
of...
name as one of the main lead characters.
True.
We have the same last name, so that's why I'm here, basically.
You're here for more than that.
Yeah.
You're an all-star.
I'm an all-star. All right, let's get to it. What were we supposed to say?
Well, would you like to inform the audience about how this whole thing came to be?
Yes. All right. So I have the sort of origin story of how we thought of this. So I was at a bar one night, and No, it was Kaiju.
Oh,
The
Kaiju.
I was alone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
This is real.
This is the origin story. So I was talking to someone who will be on the podcast at some point, and they were telling me something, and they were referencing Shrek. And they said simply, have you seen the movie Shrek? There's that part with the donkey and the onions, I think. I don't remember exactly, and then I thought, that's such a silly question. Of course I've seen Shrek. Like, who hasn't seen Shrek? Who hasn't seen that movie? Everyone has seen the movie. So then I thought, wait, well, who hasn't? Seriously, who hasn't seen it? So I wanted to meet that person at the bar because I felt like they would be a very interesting person that I don't know about. I just don't know who that person is personally. So I looked around and I queried everyone there, and they were just as surprised as I was at being asked that question, the Shrek hold being broken, if you will, whether I've seen Shrek. And after an hour or so, I did not meet one person at Kaiju that night who has not seen Shrek. And with that mystery of who is this person who hasn't seen it, I came to meet my fellow Shrexorcists, Joseph.
Fellow all-stars.
My fellow all-star Shrexorcists. Again, my name is Cameron, and now I'll pass it over to the next Shrexorcist.
Okay, my name is Alex. Hey y'all, Haydon. And I was sitting with these fellow people at Magbar, and this idea sort of just rung true with me as well. And I think it's a good, it's entertaining because it's weird and bizarre and different, but also it's an opportunity to really meet interesting people and also to see the influence of Shrek on us as humans. It's a shared, what would we be like as people without ever seeing Shrek?
Classic family film, speaks to everyone.
Yeah,
film for everyone.
It's interesting that you say that. I'm Hannah Rego. I don't know who I would be if me and my brother hadn't seen Shrek upwards of 30 times on HBO.
Whoa.
You know, when we just, by happenstance, acquired our neighbor's HBO on our television for free.
Congratulations.
We didn't have cable at all.
That's great.
That's
You know,
not when you hear.
I
it.
didn't get many cartoons, but I did see Shrek over and over.
Yeah.
And over.
Yeah.
You
Any
know?
particular scene that you just remember just enjoying more so than the others? That's one I like to pull out at parties.
You know, as a young girl butting into a person, I think that really watching Fiona's first transformation
Excellent sequence.
just touched me.
I really forgot about that whole arc for Fiona until I read the Wikipedia page today. And then I remembered the levels of learning about what is ugly on the inside and the outside, and the lesson that it teaches children. And it's sort of beautiful.
Yeah, also a concept
Yeah.
I found interesting was that they never refer to Fiona as an ogre. You guys know, because,
Really?
yeah, not once do they say... I remember at one point Donkey says, he's an ogre, you're kind of like an ogre. I might be able to pull that sound clip for the podcast, but they never really explicitly say she is an ogre, which begs the question, what is an ogre? Aren't we all ogres? I think it's something kind of a question that ogre could be the allegory for
It's a
insecurity.
question we all have.
It is, yeah. It's
I think I'm going to act mostly as the social analyst on this project, and
I was
I
gonna,
think that primarily Shrek is a queer story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Hannah definitely is going to be contributing a lot to the analysis of people who haven't seen Shrek and what that means. I think that's a really important voice we have on the podcast. So thank you for being here, by the way.
Our official Shrek analysis.
Yes, I would go so far as to give you that title, official Shrek analyst. Can we
Shrek analysis.
Can we get the
Yeah.
punsman working on that?
Close
On
enough.
the-
Shrek analyst. Okay,
Shrekentist.
That's further from it.
That's
We're getting further
we're
away.
straying.
I wanted to say one thing about something I really distinctly remember about the movie. It wasn't even in the movie. It was in the DVD menu, like the main menu.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we had the DVD and the menu was up, and if the menu on the DVD is up for like too long and you don't press anything. No, I'm sorry. What happens when you hit play movie? When you hit play movie, the pigs, like you remember the pigs?
Oh, do they like bounce
The
from
pigs
end
do
to
something.
end?
The
but
German pig.
The German pigs, and what they do is they bounce around and they say, "Play the movie, yeah, play."
Back when
And
people
that was
cared.
funnier to us than anything in the movie.
So you would wait? You would just sit
we
there
would
and
just
wait?
do it, and then maybe we would go back and like do it again. We would play the movie again, just to hear the pigs do that.
Wow.
And then when we would play DVDs, when we would because on the main menu there's play, there's special features. When we would finally hit play, we would all say, even if it wasn't Shrek, play the movie, yeah, play.
Do you still say that today? Like, randomly?
No, well, it's like
You did today.
It's in the subconscious, and then when I was thinking about Shrek, it came back, and I thought that's one of the things I really remember about it. And it wasn't even in the movie, you know.
And what a fortunate time it was that Shrek came at an age where production companies still cared about DVDs because people still bought them. Well, actually, a Shrek story of my own is that I first got it on VHS. So that was even before I didn't know the pig thing. Yeah, the VHS.
That was right at the the transition point.
Yeah.
VHS to DVD.
It was probably like a green VHS too. Don't you think?
Not mine in particular. That'd be fantastic.
That
I
would be
wish, yeah.
fantastic.
But I think I remember because I did, of course, end up getting the DVD, those pigs. And, if it came out today, it would not have disc art. It wouldn't have a commentary.
I think those are my favorite characters in Shrek.
The pigs.
The German pigs.
Oh, side characters, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the primary characters, you've got all winners. Farquaad specifically, at the center of his core, he's a desperate
What do you
man.
think? What do you think? John Lithgow was like. You think he likes Shrek? Do you think he's proud of that work? Because he's the guy who does. You guys know John Lithgow?
He voices Farquaad, of course.
Do you guys know John Lithgow?
No, I don't.
Oh my God, we need a new podcast.
Educate
Do
me.
you know John Lithgow?
I'm officially.
Well, you've seen him in a million things. He does the voice of Sideshow Bob on The Simpsons.
Popular children's author as well. He writes children's
Harry and
books.
the Hendersons. He's
See,
the
I don't
dad.
know any
He was
of
in
these
Interstellar
things.
quite recently.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, I know
You seen
Interstellar.
Interstellar?
He
Yeah,
was the
okay.
dad.
He's
He was
the dad.
dad of.
He's very he talks Very official.
He sounds like Farquaad.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So
he's
that role
great.
might have been a little autobiographical.
He's a
for him.
treasure.
I don't think you can be ashamed of voice acting, you know?
Yeah, but he's like the real like thespian, like classically trained thespian.
Yeah.
And then he is in this movie.
So
Well,
you,
Shrek
do you
is
identify
also-
with him a little bit as an actor?
Well, he's doing it to make money. But you know what's funny is that Mike Myers was like really into Shrek. I read about this on Wikipedia.
Oh
today.
yeah, he like halfway through the movie, they had to restart production because he wanted to change the voice.
And he wanted to do the Scottish accent.
And because he first started
Chris
with Canadian.
Farley. No, Chris Farley was the original Shrek.
Oh,
You've probably
right.
read about
Oh
this.
yeah, I've seen this.
Really?
There's
Oh,
storyboard
I
for
remember
that.
And he did 85 to 90% of the voice for the whole movie.
Really?
And then he died.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
supposed to be Shrek. I've seen storyboard footage with his
Wow.
audio
Yeah.
put to
No,
it.
yeah, we have
And he
to
calls
see
him
that
Lord
eventually.
Fartquad, which is a joke that they dropped.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
And so we had
It's
to.
a killer joke.
They just had to redo the entire.
Yeah, they
voicing.
they changed like a lot of animation and all the voices, and Mike Myers like really he like really invested in the character, and in the story apparently got a lot better just because Mike Myers was like, you know,
Just really
showing
owned it.
up.
Shows
Yeah.
how much more when a star invests their time and energy into a project, more so than just acting.
But now I kind of feel like he regrets all the Shrek stuff because I feel like his career kind of
fizzled, yeah.
fizzled.
But it did supply a lot of money to him during his
God.
period of time where he didn't want to act. And then he did Love Guru and, realized that maybe he should have just stuck to Shrek. I wanted to go back to your question, though, about whether or not John Lithgow, actually appreciates Shrek. It is, actually critically a very well-received movie. It actually was the first animated movie to ever win an Oscar. Because
oh, that's true.
the
I read that. Yeah.
Oscar, animated Oscar category was that year. And Shrek won.
Yeah.
Which is something known as Pixar's throne. But
Right.
That's
DreamWorks
true.
has
But
the first
Or
one.
DreamWorks-
Disney in general.
Right.
And
You know?
DreamWorks always gets crap for
Never
not
winning.
Since Shrek, I mean, what else? I mean, there's probably been some good stuff at DreamWorks, but
Well, I really like Chicken Run.
Chicken Run.
But
Yeah,
that-
have you
that
ever
was-
seen
That was
Chicken Run?
pre-Shrek, wasn't it?
Was it?
I believe that was pre-Shrek.
It probably was,
It wasn't
actually, yeah.
DreamWorks, was it?
No, that was
like
DreamWorks.
the Wallace and Gromit people.
No,
Yeah.
no, that was DreamWorks.
No.
No.
Let's get the fact checker on that.
Okay, Google it.
Fact check time.
IMDb.
All right.
This is our every episode fact check.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna check the Kentucky primary.
Let's see.
I think Clinton's gonna win.
You can't see it, but in this
Oh,
room.
holy shit! Alex is right. It's
I
DreamWorks.
know.
Oh.
Wow.
Exactly.
All right, I ate my words.
I was gonna say we're watching the Shrek musical in the background.
on mute.
On
yeah,
mute.
it's just the-
Yeah, right now.
It's already been way more props
update.
than I expected.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
fascinating
why.
to me.
What do you?
I feel
I
like
mean,
a
why are they
cocktail
filming a
earlier.
musical or is it a musical?
Yeah, I
It
think
is.
people like to watch film versions of musicals,
Yeah.
Because we missed this, When are we gonna get to see it again?
and it's a pretty good.
At Floyd Central.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, we would just
Yeah.
like to plug a local production of Shrek the musical at
Yeah,
Floyd Central Knobs
I
thing.
think there. No, is there a knob?
I think
Is it
there's
plural,
knobs in
singular?
it.
Indiana,
knob.
USA.
There's a knob in the high school title.
Okay, it's
And,
not a mountain or a hill.
No, it's a knob.
Okay, it's a knob.
Yeah, but yeah, go see that. It's getting rave.
And we'll try to be there in the
Yes.
field to get some audio footage, whatever that's called. But also, kind of just want to bring up some instances of breaking the Shrek hold recently, this past weekend. Quite an interesting experience that Cameron, Hannah, and I had. We were in the midst of some sort of accident on the highway. There was a long line of cars, and we could see where the holdup was. So at one point, we were not moving. We were stationary for so long that we got out of the car, and we're just standing in the middle of the highway. But once the line started moving, spirits started rising. Or actually, no, it was before that. We got back in the car, and we were all just kind of collectively wondering when the line would start moving. So the car next to us rolls the window down and is just kind of asking, do you guys know what's going on?
Oh yeah, and she just had mascara somehow smudged just all around both her eyes.
Oh, that's
Her
unfortunate.
hair
I didn't tell you.
had been so thoroughly straightened. It was just like, hey.
It was like 3 a.m.
On a Saturday night.
Yeah, on a
She
Saturday
just,
morning.
you could tell before she spoke that she was drunk. You know, it was
Yeah,
good
definitely.
for her that
I don't know which one. I
there was a
told
different
you,
accident.
Oh,
but
wow.
I went to school with her.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
Yeah, I had a
Class.
class or
Oh
two
my
with her.
gosh.
And
I
I see her everywhere. Like, I see her everywhere on campus. So it wasn't surprising to just, like, see her next to us in the car.
Right.
Okay, so
Wow.
I'll be
And-
her. Just continue the story.
Okay, so here's what happened. What was the question like?
I think first you said something like, "How
did
about
we-
this trap?" One of you said.
Oh,
Yeah.
did I
I
get
think
her
it was
attention?
me.
or
Yeah,
did
yeah, no,
she-
yeah, it was you. It
Yeah,
was you.
it was
She
me.
said,
She said, like, she was like, what's going on? And I just said, like, I think we're moving or something.
"You said, how about this traffic, huh?"
Is that what I said?
And she said, "Yeah."
Yeah. All right, do you want to recreate it?
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, can you believe this traffic?
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Shrek before?
Yeah.
Wow, it's like she was expecting
Yes,
the
it was
question.
It's like it was
Exactly.
part of the traffic somehow.
Yeah.
It was like,
It was a logical next question. To have
yeah,
you-
it was.
Then she kind of waved her arm out the window, like just slightly. Like she just moved her hand just a little bit further out the window.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't hear you or something.
No, she
Or
did.
She heard you.
Yeah.
The confirmation that she had seen Shrek was just as kind of mundane as the one about like,
Yeah,
this
that's what
traffic.
it
Like,
was.
hey, is this traffic moving? No, do you know what's going on? No, have you seen Shrek? Yeah, but but what about this traffic? Am I right? Yeah, I've seen Shrek.
No,
Yeah,
but-
That's
yeah.
like the reaction to that. It's
She's
like
angrier, you know.
She was. Yeah, I've
She
seen.
didn't
Of course,
wanna
yeah.
talk
Like she was
anyone
offended that we were asking.
about
Right.
Shrek or anything.
Is the Pope
Yeah.
Catholic? I've seen Shrek.
yeah.
So that was one of the first interesting instances of breaking the Shrek hold. Another really funny one. I'll let you tell.
All right. So after that, we ended up at McDonald's, and we were going through the drive-through, and unrelated to any Shrek business, the first woman was like, just something was going on.
I knew that it was 3 minutes till 4. And it
Oh
was
yeah, it was
breakfast.
3 minutes
You
till
all
4,
were
and I was
unaware,
getting a chicken
but
sandwich,
I
and then it was
was
4,
waiting
and
for the menu to
and
turn.
the panels turned.
Yeah.
And then it was like, can I still get a chicken sandwich? And then she said yes. And then she said, actually, no.
Oh,
It's
man.
over at midnight or something.
Actually,
So really, most of what she said was just.
it was.
Right.
Go
And
ahead.
then
Go ahead.
There was
George.
a tea came, like I ordered a sweet tea when I didn't.
Oh.
So anyway, all right. So we get up there and I pay, and the second window, the manager is at the window, and there was a little bit where Hannah's pointing to the.
Yeah, we're kind of watching the musical right
It's
now.
just-
Sorry, it just said, "This is your wife."
Sushi. There's a fish that says sushi on it.
Might have been a bad
All right,
choice.
all right.
Okay, yeah.
What did I say? Oh, she said she had 4 waters. She had 2 medium waters
Two
and
smalls.
2 smalls, and she was confused which 2 were mine because we ordered 2. And I said, I think the smalls. And she said, well, I just don't want to give you too much water. And then I said, like, well, I'll take 10 large waters, which was stupid. But she, and then that created like a little like rapport, like a bit, like it was funny. It was between us.
Yeah.
So then after that, you were laughing
Yes.
and just giggling, and then I thought, we'll ask her if she's seen Shrek.
Yes. Ask her if she's seen Shrek.
Yeah, you said
so
that,
You've broken the ice with your 10 water joke,
Yeah.
and you're like, now
And
I
then
can
the
ask
Shrek
her.
hold
Now
is
the
like
ice is out of
in
the
the
way.
air.
Now
Yeah.
the Shrek holds.
So I ask, so Joseph says, ask her if she's seen Shrek. So I ask, I'm sorry, have you seen the movie Shrek before?
No, you said, "Can I ask you a question?"
Is that what happened?
Oh, yes.
Can I ask you a question? And she
okay.
perked up.
Oh,
And she
yeah,
was
yeah.
So excited.
Yeah, 'cause she's going through
to
this
make
like
some human
this
connection at this time of
mundane,
night.
monotonous,
She couldn't
order
wait
food.
for what
order
question.
food.
It didn't.
Did you?
Oh,
Did she think
yeah,
you were gonna
you're
ask her
right.
on a date or something?
She might have.
Yeah, it
She
was just
was-
like a human moment now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Finally.
so
didn't
you're
care.
connected.
That's a
4
good
in the
way to put
morning.
it.
It's 4 in the morning.
She didn't care
and
what the question was.
Like McDonald's is lifeless, bright fluorescent lighting, and all of a sudden there's this car of kids, the brightly faced young man's asking, "Can I ask you a question?" And she says, "Yes." And then I break the Shrek hole. I say, "Have you seen the film Shrek before?"
Ooh.
And her reaction was like incredulous, like it was the
Yes,
opposite.
Of course.
She said yes, and then she said, "Why? Why do you ask?"
But you were already rolling up the window and pulling away, and she
Right.
like leaned her head out the window.
Yeah.
And said, "Wait."
Oh, she
Why?
said, don't.
Then
she
you
said,
didn't
"Don't roll
answer.
up that
Don't.
window."
You answered.
She's like,
did
She's
you?
like, "Don't go
Don't
away."
roll the window. And
Wait,
all
what?
right, thank you. Roll up the window.
She said, "Don't roll up that
Oh,
window."
no.
And he did, and
we left her.
to this day,
Yeah.
Floyd Street
Wow.
McDonald's.
I hope you're
She's probably
listening.
still wondering.
Out there.
Hey, God bless you
Yeah.
if you.
Yeah,
are.
this is the Shrexorcist Podcast, by the way, if you've forgotten.
Right. Yeah.
And we
just a
haven't gotten
reminder.
off topic too much today. I'm really proud of us.
Yeah.
It's hard to get off the topic, you know.
I rarely get
What
off
is it?
this topic.
It's-
I think about this all
I-
day.
We've been
I
on
get
this
off
topic
from this
only
topic.
for the last week.
Yeah.
Right.
Say last decade.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, really.
Decade.
Yeah.
which brings us
We should
to
say so,
our first non-believer.
Ever.
Regrettably, one we did not record. His name was Caleb, and interesting story. Kind of underwhelming, I guess,
Broken
if you really think
Hallelujah,
about it.
if you really think about it.
But
Oh, like Rufus Wainwright's Hallelujah.
no, it,
John Cale.
is it John? I was going to say,
Rufus
I think
Wainwright
it's
is the
John-
version in Shrek.
I think it's John Cale.
No, there's one on the soundtrack and there's one in the movie.
So they're different?
They're different,
Why would
yeah.
they do
And
that?
it goes like this.
to make more money.
The fourth, the
Fourth,
fifth,
the fifth.
That is
the minor
very
fall, the major
disappointing.
lift.
I don't like that song,
I
by the
sang
way.
an a cappella version of that song. in
I
high
don't
school.
like that
Really?
song.
Yeah.
Which
the
version
I
do
think
you
it's
not?
overrated.
Because
It
there's
made
a
me-
lot of different.
Overrated
It made
song.
me cry to just rehearse it.
Like Leonard
in high
Cohen's
school.
is so much different than Jeff Buckley's,
Saccharine.
which
It's
is so
saccharine.
much different than John Cale's,
You
which is
know
so much
that
different than
is-
Rufus Wainwright's.
It's too sweet, like sugar. Sorry.
I'm just saying, Leonard Cohen, Jeff
It is pretty
Buckley.
sweet.
Pretty sentimental.
There's-
Baffled King.
Which one do you not like, Cameron? They're all so
Hallelujah.
different. Leonard Cohen's is
I just think there's
different.
better songs. I think Landslide by Fleetwood Mac is more affecting.
Why wasn't that in Shrek?
It could have been. I don't know.
Right, it should have been.
But All Star is the classic Shrek song.
Well, you know, without Smash Mouth, there would be no Shrek. It's part
Right.
of the Trinity.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Their
that
cover
later.
of "I'm a Believer."
Yeah. It's the
There's
meat
no
and
better
bones.
ending.
Yeah,
There's
right.
no better concluding sound or music to a movie.
You've heard the kind of the colloquialism, you know, like it's easier to run a race with racing shoes. Do you necessarily need them? No. Did Shrek necessarily need All-Star? No, but it made it a lot better, made it easier, made it
Sort of like the Jaws soundtrack.
right.
Without the soundtrack.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's continue on. What is it, Caleb?
Caleb.
Yeah.
Despite being an underwhelming moment, it was still almost cinematic the way it happened. The one we
I
finally
think
got.
I think we can say Caleb is a legend now, and we can not regard him necessarily as because he represents something
More of an entity than a
right.
person.
And we're gonna get interviews of people now that are non-believers, and Caleb is this other thing, right? I want to separate those two. We still haven't found someone that
He's Peter. He's the rock on which we build our church. He's the first.
Right,
You know,
right.
he's the first of hopefully not many.
So
but
basically, we were at Burger Boy, and we were asking some people, some waiters, and some customers, and then we saw this table next to us with this family. We sort of broadly asked the table, "Have you seen the movie Shrek?" All the adults say yes, and then they ask, "Well, the kid maybe he hasn't."
And how old is Caleb, by the way?
He's wearing, like headphones.
Yeah,
like
well, this is the
over-
weird part.
That's
he's
it.
wearing these.
Earmuffs.
He's wearing these
What
like
is he
really
doing?
weird giant headphones. He's like drawing, and he's totally like in his own world.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then
We
they
see him from the back.
they, like-
Reading the Shrek world was really hard. for
Right.
him.
The
It
mom,
was. It
the
took him a
mom
while.
like opens his earmuffs. He doesn't even do it. He's like totally in his
Are
own
they
world.
earmuffs
How old do
or
you think he
headphones?
is?
Yeah, I would say like
Not only in 10.
10,
10,
yeah.
11, maybe
yeah,
9.
like weird like amorphous like
Like 7
child,
to 12.
Right.
preteen. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Okay,
What,
kid,
what
not
we
really
were
a
in when we
person.
saw Shrek, really.
Yeah.
2001, how long ago was that? 15 years?
But he has seen the Christmas special, Shrek the Hulk.
That's the interesting
He
part.
has?
Yeah.
Weird.
That's my
It is
personal
weird.
favorite.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that when we asked him, my view of him at least was just from behind. It was like the shot of Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction. I just saw the back of his head with these headphones on. And when Cameron asked him the question, I was so eagerly anticipating. His mom said, "Have you seen Shrek?" He said something about like Shrek the musical, yeah, but minimal words. And she said, "But have you seen Shrek 1?" Because we made it a point
Right,
to
Shrek
clarify
1.
that. And then all of a sudden, I just see his head shake no.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's
His
the."
head just like kind of.
I almost wanted to
ominously
drop.
shakes.
You just saw the back of his
Yeah,
head?
yeah, he didn't regard
Did you
us
ever
at
see his
all.
face?
No,
And he
You
I
never
didn't.
saw Caleb?
Not
I didn't
even.
see
I
his
didn't see his
face.
eyes.
So
he
we-
was really kind of like mysterious.
His
Wow.
aura was just
Yeah.
very adult and very
Yeah.
ominous.
Yeah.
And
I'd
it's
even go
funny
so far
that
to say.
the adults had seen it.
Right.
A
yeah.
kid's movie.
Yeah.
And this
But
kid
then
hasn't.
that's where the underwhelming part comes in. We knew that the first non-believer would be of the the newest generation, a young kid.
And that's
Because-
what the mom said too. She was
Right.
like, "You should ask kids." And yeah,
kind of an eye-opener.
And this is we'll do the research eventually and see the demographic, like the cutoff of when kids stop seeing Shrek. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Do you remember the night at Magbar where there was a big, like, burly, badass-looking, like, biker guy at the bar, and that was a lot of bees. He had something on the back of his jacket where it said, like, I get high, I don't drink. It was all this stuff.
Oh yeah, something like that.
That's really on the nose for a jacket. That's, by the way, what my badass jacket would say. I get high, I drink, I am inebriated.
Do other cool things too.
I am
the
off
jacket
the
is
chain.
only so big.
I think mine would say the opposite. I don't drink.
Well, what are you drinking right now? Let's just.
I'm drinking.
Seltzer water.
I'm drinking
of course.
seltzer water.
Seltzer water.
Naturally flavored lemon. It's caffeine free and it's Kroger brand.
Kroger brand. That's the straw that breaks the
boy.
camel's back, the donkey's back, if you will.
The donkey's
proverbial donkey.
You're right.
He seems to be the most fascinating character in this musical to me.
Yeah, Shrek just punched the donkey, and the donkey is.
I'm also fascinated about this
pain.
weird mark on the side of Shrek's head. What is the purpose of that? Are those supposed to be?
The mark? Which one?
Or that's where the actor's ears are that he needs to hear.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what it
yeah.
is.
And it looks like he's got little freckles.
From a theatrical perspective, do you think that's?
Oh, that's a really cool set. Is that
Duloc? That's my stomping grounds. Digitally. But anyway, so I go up to this guy. Oh, there's Farquaad. Moment of silence.
No,
for
this
Farquaad.
is just the.
That's the guy with the hat.
costume.
Of course, yeah. I was testing you.
It's basically it's all like a parody of Disney World. If you remember that scene where they're walking through.
And the little songs, yeah.
There's so many little
Kind
like
of a jab
pop
almost.
culture
from there.
references to other things.
But this guy, this biker, we thought for sure he would be the first non-believer.
Yeah.
You know, we were so certain. He just was a crusty old, he didn't ever. And so I go up to him, I tap him on the back, and I say, "Excuse me, sir, have you seen the movie Shrek?" And I kind of just see him from the side, and he's kind of confused, and he's like, "Not for a long time." And remember when that "in" was leaving his mouth? I thought he was gonna say no, and I was like, "Is this it?" No, he said, "Not for a long time." And then he seemed kind of concerned. I said, "We're doing a podcast called The Shrexorcist. We wanted to find someone who hasn't seen it." But, that's what happens. Sometimes you break the Shrek hold, you don't get what you expect,
And I think that's a really good example of, like, going to somebody that is the last person you think would see this silly, family movie. And then you ask them, and all of a sudden, this persona that they have at this bar of being this biker, burlesque biker.
That's so true. I hadn't thought of that.
But then you ask them about this Shrek, and it throws them off, and they're totally thrown off.
Yeah, it's
and
like
then they think in their heads about being a kid and seeing Shrek, and just being a kid, and like when Shrek was something that was in your life. And Shrek isn't. If you go around to a bar, like it's not in the lives of these people at these bars. Shrek isn't anymore. It's something that was in their life. And then when you reintroduce something into their life, it's like an injection of childhood into their
a memory,
body.
And
you open up this connection. This is what the Shrek hold is. And this is deeper, and a lot of this is going to be subtext in the Shrexorcist. Mm-hmm. But we want to know people, and we're using Shrek as the gateway into lives and people that
we don't know yet.
That we don't know yet. We want to know people.
We do, because we don't have any friends. Except for us.
Well, the Shrek hold is
mommy.
And my mom and dad.
The Shrek hold is just kind of an intricate, almost unendingly unfolding thing that continues to evolve. We don't even fully understand it yet. This is episode 1,
Episode 1, gentlemen. And ladies, and Shrek's
the fairy godmother from the second movie, which we won't get into yet. I just want to ask.
We don't know how we're gonna address the rest of them.
Honestly, I haven't. Maybe I've seen.
I've seen the second one.
I've seen the musical.
The second one's a good sequel. Third one's not so much.
Yeah, they were gonna make 5, and then they didn't. That's all. That's what I read today.
Well, the fourth one was so heavily advertised as the last thing.
Oh, really?
Shrek Forever After. It all ends here.
Oh, yeah, that's all in the title.
I broke the Shrek hold with Nathan yesterday. You know Nathan.
Yeah.
We have a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my friend.
Yeah.
The most. But I knew he'd seen Shrek, but I just informed him about what we were doing over here, and he immediately started crying.
What?
Because this touched him so much.
This is definitely up his alley.
Well,
for
he's a
sure.
fellow
Yeah.
all-star. Tell him if he wants to come
Yeah,
on.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
share that.
We'll
say
have him
that
on.
we are
Yeah.
already connecting, you know.
We'll have him in Duloc. He'll come to. We'll have him here
Yeah,
in Duloc
he
with
should
us.
definitely be a guest.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nathan,
What's-
you're invited.
What's his name?
Nathan
Gronick?
Gronick.
Okay. Well, then episode 2. Let's make it a point to try to get him here for that.
Yeah. And we'll have more interviews.
Yep. More live action.
More Shrek.
More live action, more Shrek.
Just like a closing kind of thing. I just kind of wanted to ask you, Hannah, what do you think? Like Caleb, Caleb is missing from not having that experience we had at around his age. Like, what do you think the main points are? Is it just the things he didn't go through that we did because of this film?
I think mostly there's just this, entire, really well-built world that he hasn't been exposed to, and he seemed like a thoughtful, engaged, young man, and I think that he would be inspired to see the swamp.
The swamp, yeah.
Just of the world he's in, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Not cold world, a lonely world.
Yeah, I think really he's the dragon, and he doesn't know that he's capable of love the way the dragon is, He doesn't realize it yet.
That's profoundly put.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragon's an important character, often overlooked. And we'll get to that. But, yeah, we just want to thank you for listening to the first episode.
Yeah,
Thank you, believers and all-stars out there. We're going to expand further. We're going to break lots more Shrek holds. And we hope to hear you. We hope to have you back for episode 2. Hopefully including Nathan.
Yes.
Anybody want closing words, anyone?
May the Shrek be with you.
Interesting. I haven't heard that one yet.
I'm going to go watch Shrek now.
Brush up.
Bye, guys.
I'm going to count my Shrek before I go to sleep.
On my monthly cycle, I watch it about every 3 months. I'm almost due for another viewing.
I'm gonna go face swap with Shrek.
Yeah,
that's a good
you know.
idea.
That's a good idea.
Turn myself into a Shrek meme.
I'm going to go Snapchat
Alright.
Shrek.
And that will be linked on our website,
Yes.
www.cnn.com.
I can.
/ Espanol.
I smell a T-shirt deal in the works. Good evening, all stars.
Bye.
Have a good night.